Okay, we will call the meeting of the Board of School Trustees for February the 6th, 2025 to order. Night, and this is a great night because we get to celebrate students, so we're very excited about this. So at this time, if we would all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. At this time, we will have a moment of silence or prayer. Thank you. We'll start off now with our core purpose. Our core purpose is success for all students. Our core goal is at least 90% of students pass language arts, English, and mathematics on state assessments. Our core values, character. We will continue to be an institution guided by ethical strength. Students, we will continue to put students first in our priorities and our decision making. Service, we will continue to be an organization known for its servant spirit. Stewardship, we will continue to embody the qualities of stewardship. There are no comments. Oh, excuse me. Dr. Hall, are there any adjustments to the agenda?
There are no adjustments tonight, President.
All right. Okay, I got you out of order there. So, okay, so we do not have any comments from patrons. No one signed up, so we will go to 2.1 right away. And thank you, Mrs. Chestnut, Mr. Rao, for being here tonight. And please tell us all about Pendleton Heights Middle School and all the great things going on there.
We will do that. And the first part is the most exciting part is talking about our students and those students that are pillars of our community and of our school community as well. So we'll start with our 6 by staff member students for the 6 pillars of character. Many of these students were nominated for more than one pillar, but we managed to narrow it down to 1 for them. And we don't make it easy on the teachers when it comes to this. We make them not just nominate, but they have to write a paragraph describing why they are nominating that student. So, you know, that makes them think a little bit, and it makes them actually put into words and put it to paper what their thoughts are on each particular student. So we're going to start with trustworthiness tonight. And this student is, I'm going to read a little bit about what some teachers said about him. Dane Marlowe does the right thing even when no one is watching. He cares about doing his best, but has a kind and generous heart. He is friendly and always willing to go the extra mile. He exhibits all of the character traits and is a bright spot at PHMS. He can be relied on to do whatever needs to be done with no hesitation and without any doubts that he will get the job done if asked to do so. Dane, we would like to thank you for your nomination, and we would like to present you with a certificate for trustworthiness. See. The board members would also like to shake your hand. So we would ask that you walk around this way, and this upper administration would like to shake your hand, and the board members would as well. We'll all do this after each person.
Way to go, Dane.
Oh, we went a little far. Sorry.
Congratulations.
Our next pillar and the next student that we are going to recognize tonight is Andrew Bledsoe for responsibility. Andrew is a pleasure to have in the classroom and is an example of all the traits espoused in each of the categories listed. Choose just the right trait for him to represent. He is seen by many in many different settings but the same students across all settings. He is always respectful, always is kind, and always shows caring for others. He is an all-around good citizen. He is a hardworking and conscientious student, and he thinks not only of himself, but of others too. As he is observed in his interactions with others in this building, he is an asset to PHMS and a great example of the type of student any teacher would appreciate having in their classroom. Andrew Bledsoe. Thank you. Olivia is our next person for citizenship, but unfortunately she's been ill this week, so she could not be here, but we wanted to honor her anyway, and I believe her mother her. She might even be watching on the streaming. I'm not sure. I sent the link. So, so we'll talk about her even though she's not here. So this is what teachers said about Olivia. Olivia cares about the school community. By volunteering to help out in the library last year and being on the yearbook staff this year, she has helped the school show the positive sides of PHMS. As a library assistant, she helped shelve books, completed projects assigned by the librarian, and helped students do all the kinds of things that students seem to not know how to do in the library. She would help them do that. Her work ethic is evident in the fact that she is always asking for jobs and looking for projects that need to be done around the school. And that's a really nice thing for people to do. Olivia's great attitude and giving spirit are appreciated by all. Her focus is not on herself, but on helping others. It is a blessing to see these qualities in a middle school. Olivia. Thank you. You don't have to do that. No, you don't. Okay. Our next student has been nominated and will be receiving the recognition for the Fairness Pillar. Camden Lees is here tonight, and he is a great student. Two teachers said much the same thing. I don't know if they got together or what, but they had a lot of the same things to say, so that's awesome. He cares about the way things are done and is always striving to improve not only his own work, but the work of those around him. He can do that in a way that is considered kind and generous and not bossy. So that's something that is a good characteristic to have. In class, he is always willing to share his perspectives, but also listens to the cares and concerns of those around him. He takes it to heart and is able to process that. He is enjoyed by the teachers, and he is positive and has a sweet nature. So, congratulations, Camden. Thank you.
Great job, Camden. Keep it up. Thank you. With all the flu going around, I thought that'd be. This.
Madeline Crabe has been nominated for the Pillar of Respect. There was a lot. I had to ask the nominating people to shorten it a little bit, what they were saying about her, because there was so much. It's so awesome. So anyway, she has been nominated because she is continually impressing those around her with her outstanding qualities as a student and just an individual. Madeline is the epitome of hard work, kindness, and integrity. She approaches each task with diligence and does what is expected of her with a quiet confidence that sets a positive example for her peers. Her peers look up to her and follow her example. Her commitment in doing what is right and her ability to quietly yet confidently lead has made her a standout student. There is no doubt that Madison will continue to excel at whatever she chooses to pursue, and we are glad to have her at PHMS. We look forward to seeing what comes of her in the future. Madeline? Good job.
Good job, Madeline. Congratulations.
The last pillar is a pillar of caring, and this one goes to Lucas Hayden. Lucas is a great example of all six pillars of character, but caring definitely stands out. We've watched him fill the classroom with kindness in his words and action. He has shown great compassion and help with Best Buddies program and has helped the Fellowship of Christian Athletes by writing personalized cards for children in foster care. He is also the horse, if you didn't know. We have seen him extend great forgiveness and mercy to others as well. He always has a smile on his face, even in the midst of adversity. His joy and gratitude are contagious, and he is a great example to his classmates in all the pillars, but especially in caring. Lucas Hayden.
Way to go, Lucas. Take it up. Thanks. Congratulations. Thank you. Good job. Yeah, buddy.
Thank all of you students for that. You could have all had each pillar, but we did have to designate one for each of you. So thank you for all that you do. You make middle school a great place to be, and it makes my job easier with kids like you, and I appreciate you and your families very much. Moving on.
Yes.
Yes.
FYI, right after her, she has other awards, but right after that, we will have her report, and then we'll take a break and give you time to get pictures and some time out in the hall, out in the lobby area here. So it's going to be just a few more minutes here.
Okay, are we ready? Our next presentation is the award that goes to our community partners, and we have some amazing community partners this year, extending back to last year even, in the work that was done. So I'll tell you a little bit about this. Our community partners of PHMS, Building a Brighter Future with Midwest Remodeling and Madison County Builders Association. Let me explain what that means. At PHMS, we value community partnerships that enrich our students' educations. We're excited to continue our collaboration with Midwest Remodeling and the Madison County Builders Association, who approached us with the idea to sponsor a Build Your Future Day last year. We were immediately intrigued by the opportunity and eager to explore how it could benefit our students. In the Build Your Future program, it supports schools across Indiana by providing construction education, career exploration, and work-based learning opportunities. Karen Shreves and Beth Carey of Midwest Remodeling, along with MCBA, worked closely with PHMS, meeting monthly to develop a curriculum, provide materials, and recruit volunteers. Their efforts brought trades education to our 7th graders, and the first year was a great success. Now, in our 2nd year, the program is expanding with even bigger plans and new opportunities for our students. We are grateful for the continued support from Midwest Remodeling and MCBA and excited to see how this partnership will continue to impact PHMS students. It's inspiring to see local businesses like this taking on an active interest in the future of SMCSC students. Together, we are building a brighter future for the next generation, and we'd like to thank you for extending that opportunity. And we would like to also note that South Madison Community Foundation has generously helped as well. And with that, their wish was that we expand the program because they represent more than just South Madison Community Schools. They also, have interest elsewhere. And so this year, we have invited LaPel Middle School, and they are coming, some of their adults are coming to observe what we're doing, and we expect that their 7th graders will be joining us on the 3rd year. So we're pretty excited about that. So when they ask for volunteers, we need you guys, because we need a lot of volunteers. Let's just put it that way. So, and they will stop at nothing to get those volunteers. I have seen that firsthand. So, so without further ado, we'd like to give 2 awards, one to Midwest Remodeling and one to Madison County Builders Association, of which one of them is the president of. So that helps. So ladies, if you'd come on up, we will do that. This one is for the Midwest Remodeling. There's the box, but here is your little award. So, ladies, thank you. Yes, here's the box. No. And this one is for the Madison County Builders Association. So they're the same, but the imprint is a little bit different. So thank you, ladies. So,
Thank you.
and I think
I can't tell you how grateful.
we're excited. I think we have a meeting coming up soon too, don't we? Yeah. Yes, we do. Oh,
Thank you so much for putting me on that list. Thank you so much.
You're on the list. You guys should come out and check it out. I'm telling you, it's worth
They're getting to be expert lesson plan builders and writers, so they've learned. We've shared a lot back and forth on how some of that goes. It's a lot of fun. So mark your calendars for May 9th. We'll need you all to help us this year, I'm sure. So May 9th is our day that we plan to do our Trades Day this year. Ladies. And finally, our Above and Beyond reward will be going to Wendy Hilligoss today. Wendy Hilligoss is a prime example of an exceptional leader whose impact extends far beyond her official role of athletic director. Known for her past work as a teacher, basketball, tennis, and golf coach at multiple levels, she is our current athletic director at Pendleton Heights Middle School, and her contributions are vast and invaluable. I can't begin to describe everything that Wendy does. That duties as assigned is implemented about every day. As athletic director, Wendy not only oversees sports programs, but also coordinates extracurricular activities, ensuring everything runs smoothly with the facilities that we have. Her support extends to supervising classes, assisting with school events, and helping wherever needed, making an indispensable part of the daily school operations. She's also the voice of PHMS on the announcements every morning. Often called the Girl Friday at PHMS, she is always ready to step in and handle any challenge from bus duty to managing school-wide events. A standout example of her leadership is the annual Veterans Day Flag on the Hill initiative, which she initiated. This project honors veterans and fosters a sense of community and patriotism among students and staff, and is visible for all who drive by, and it's still there. We always wonder how long it'll last. Every year we're kind of like, it's still there, it's still there. So, and it's still there. But Wendy is the one who's out there every day, no matter what, as it's getting done. I can't thank someone enough to be that person in our office area that is willing to go anywhere, do anything, cover anything, and I don't hear complaints. So if there are any, they're not getting to me. So anyway, without further ado, we'd like to thank you, Wendy, and you definitely go above and beyond. Come on up.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Pendleton Heights Middle School. Our vision and our mission, quality education to build a better tomorrow. That is what we focus on. And Pendleton Heights Middle School will work with the community and families to provide for every student with the purpose of instilling in the importance of learning. That's our vision and our mission. So how do we do that? What are we doing? System building. I'm going to let Mr. Rell talk a little bit about that.
So if you've if you need a book to read, Atomic Habits by James Clear, great book to read. And that's kind of been one of the guiding principles of what our work has been this upcoming year. So the quote is, "You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems." And so it was really about taking the really good and great things that we're already doing at the middle school and aligning those things into a focus that makes it more sustainable and allows chasing those goals as much.
So, math I Learned scores, you know what they are. We're looking to build systems to help us improve those and to meet those level of expectations that we have. The high point is we are still above the state average, and we're working hard to get those up even more with a lot of things that we're going to talk about here in just a minute. But this is our math right here, 7th and 8th grade. You can see that. And then next, did you want to say anything about that?
And we can talk about the pictures again. That top picture, that is one of our science classes, working through the physics standards. And then that is like a band spirit day. Again, trying to capitalize on the spirit, the pride that our students have of going to the middle school. These are our I Learned scores from the previous school year. So again, above the state average, again, with both 7th and 8th grade. So again, those top rows are the state average. That bottom row is the scores from Pendleton Heights Middle School. That top picture, that is the picture that Mrs. Chestnut was referencing in regards to the type of event that Mrs. Hilgoss helps organize as far as building the patriotism on Veterans Day. And then the bottom is a picture from our school play, Shrek. It was awesome. And again, our kids did a great job. Our teachers do a great job of building our kids up and creating a production that, again, if you get a chance to see it, like, it's hard to believe that 7th and 8th graders are the people starring in it. So it is awesome to watch.
Whoa,
One button went through 5 slides there. This is a slide of some of our attendance rates and our percentiles as far as where we ranked in relation to the rest of the state. That top graph is misleading. It's pointing down, the slope is down, but that's a good thing because it represents the percentage of students who were absent 10% or more. So again, when we're talking about the great things that we're doing at the middle school in the previous years, you can see that getting students to school is important. That's how we, are actually teaching them. And so the percentage of students missing 10% of school or more is decreasing. And then when we look at our attendance rate, we're 75th percentile as far as the schools across the state. We're 63rd percentile as far as our ELA scores on iLearn, and we're at the 52nd percentile in regards to math in relation to everybody at the state. And so, again, what we want to do is build on our successes and, again, build those systems around our successes and already the things that we're doing well. And then this picture is from one of our band classes. Again, we've got multiple band classes, giving kids multiple opportunities to be able to express themselves and also enjoy coming to school, because obviously if you enjoy coming to school, you're much more likely to want to go to school. So over the last few years, it's probably important to take note as far as how we're changing. And again, that's important because as we're building these systems, it's about how do we support these different students. And so over the last few years, that top chart, you'll see that our free and reduced population has remained fairly steady. But the two areas where we are seeing a change in an increase in the types of supports that we need are our EL population, as you can see, is starting to grow more rapidly over the last few years. And then the number of students who have 504s is growing as well. So again, that's additional supports that we provide for students with disabilities. And again, those are things that when we're building systems that we have to think about and be intentional because again, we have a finite number of resources and we have to figure out how to support everybody with those resources. And so it's important to take note of why we're here. Why do we teach? Why did we go into this? Because again, we just showed a whole bunch of data, but that's not the real reason why we went into this. We went into this because of the kid. And so when we're having to think about what are we providing, we have to understand that every kid has a different student profile. And when we talk about a profile, in old terms, 15, 20 years ago, it was categorized as like a student's either tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. After we've kind of taken a step back, we've come to realize that it's very fluid. A student may be highly successful in their ability to be in English class, less successful in math class, and again, if you've ever met my son, distracting others, he's like tier 3. He needs a lot of support there. But again, those are things that are okay. Every student's different, but we have to approach that in that way so that we can help and support, educate all the students and the whole student. And again, they're more than test scores, which is the point of this. And then this is a picture of one of our pep rallies. Again, there's the horse doing a great job getting everybody involved.
Yeah, I'll go ahead with the next one. So, okay. So things that we have in place already and have for many years, many of those things, gold cards, student connection, school-wide goals, 3-step process for classroom, spirit days, end-of-year celebration, advisory, trades day, and service day. All of those things were all good things, but we were looking for ways to tie them together better to meet our vision and our mission. So we decided to come up with some PBIS goals, and so we did that at the beginning of the year. PBIS stands for Positive Behavior Incentive Intervention, yes, goals. So what we came up with, and we have, if you come to our building and you walk around, we are mindful of all of these things, and we talk about them a lot. The 3 R's, we call them, to responsible, respectful, and ready to learn. Those are the 3 R's, and that's what we expect of our students. So if they are not meeting that expectation, that's the conversation we have with them. Which one, or maybe there's more than one, expectation are you not meeting? So that was the first step to try and bring things better together.
Yeah, and it's important to note that those 3 school-wide goals were formed by having teacher buy-in.
Yes.
So a lot of that work during the spring, Mrs. Chestnut was doing with the staff of saying what is important for the whole student, and those were the things that we brought together. So when we're putting it all together and talking about how can we support the whole student, we added several components of the system, again, of PBIS, positive behaviors of interventions and supports. So the first thing that we wanted to do was make sure that we are positively reinforcing those expected behaviors, and that was the development of the Arabian Bucks. We also wanted to make sure that we had common language for expectations in common locations, and so we have behavior location matrices, and the students got to watch really engaging videos of teachers meeting the expectation and then not meeting the expectation. So I think one of the videos had like a few teachers like running through the hallways. I think one of our kids were like doing flips and stuff, again, modeling what not to do, trying to have a little fun with it, but again, setting clear expectations at the beginning of the year. And then that last piece is that intervention and support. So again, common practices and procedures for managing student behavior, making it more uniform, while also understanding that when we are talking about managing behaviors, a lot of this age group is about educating what the correct behavior is and then how to respond the next time that we're put in that situation. And so that's how all of this gets put together and packaged as far as how can we move students forward. The other system that we wanted to build in and change and be intentional about was our PLCs. And so again, PLCs, we have, things that we want to do. We want to ensure the success of every student, make data-driven decisions, share and improve best practices, plan time to collaborate and observe others, and then develop a shared vocabulary. Again, we're wanting to be intentional with that time. This school year, we changed a little bit how we were doing it. So this year, we're meeting every week for 30 minutes on the beginning of Wednesdays. And so the kids, they meet in the gym. They have that time to socialize, be with their friends. Sometimes that's like refocusing, getting in that right mindset for school. And then they go to their first period classes. And that time, like I said, is about just being intentional, digging into the data, and trying to find ways to continuously support all students in their academic needs. And sometimes that's behavioral as well. Also, sorry, the pictures there, that is a Halloween day that we had. Allowed the kids to come in, dress up. And then that bottom picture, that was our quarter one celebration. And so that was a teacher-led celebration where they were like rolling pumpkins, like a bowling thing, and the kids were able to pick where they were going. So again, the students had choice. And again, we were just celebrating a great first quarter, having the kids be able to have fun, see their teachers in a little different light before we went on fall break. When we talk about PLCs, we use Rick DeFore's model. So we are trying to answer these 4 questions every PLC. We may not get to every question, but it's important for us to be thinking about these questions and where we're starting at. So the first one is, what are we wanting the students to learn and be able to do? Again, that's defining our goal. Where are we wanting to go? The second question is, how do we want them to demonstrate it? And then the third and fourth question is, how do we know, or what do we do when they show that they haven't learned it? And then what do we do when they already know it? And again, that question and those discussions are fluid based off of the types of things that are going on in the classroom and the types of demonstrations that are happening. Pictures here, that top left one, that's an assistant and a teacher. They happen to come in with matching Christmas sweaters. That was one of our spirit days before we went into break. Again, it's good for the teachers just as much as the kids on that last week before we go into break. And then that bottom picture is, again, play practice from Shrek. That's the donkey in the bottom left. So we have the horse and the donkey amongst us. So.
So, we talked about the tiers, and
Yeah.
So we wanted you to better have a visual of the tiers that we actually use at Pendleton Heights Middle School and where all of these things fit in. So when we talk about Tier 1 is what every student gets no matter what. If they are at Pendleton Heights Middle School, these are the things that happen for every student. We have for every 8th grade student, we are doing the Preparing for College and Careers course that all students are taking, which if they pass it, they get high school credit for it, which is a high school graduation requirement for this 8th grade class to graduate when they go to high school. So the vast majority of our students will have at least 1 credit under their belt that is a requirement for graduation, which is a pretty awesome thing. All students have advisory, where it's 30 minutes a day that we have built into the schedule, where students are with the same teacher for the entire year. We do a lot of things. We do some character education. We do whatever needs to be done. That's where we do it, where all students can get it from the same person throughout the year. Works out really nicely. Other things that we do quarter celebrations, Arabian Bucks. That's part of our PBIS system, where students are rewarded by teachers or adults in the building for meeting those 3 R's that we talked about earlier. And those are doled out as they see fit. We have the school-wide goal. We'll go ahead and you can see some of that stuff. Go ahead with Tier 2 if you'd like.
Yeah, so Tier 2 and Tier 3, you're going to see some things that are together. The real difference is that Tier 3, that's that more individualized, one-on-one type of attention. The Tier 2 is small group. Again, we're being intentional, it's targeted, but again, we're still doing it in those small groups. That's why you're going to see special education, 504 EL services in both of those tiers. When we're talking about Tier 2, Other supports are counselor groups. They meet specifically on some needs that students are having. And then also we have an outside group, the Bone groups. And then something new this school year, again, we're seeing a lot of missing work, just kind of a mentality that we're trying to change. And so I'll meet with kids, talk about why we're not getting those things in. It's a good conversation because sometimes I can learn a lot from those, and then we can also just talk about forming better habits. Tier 3, we have a reading lab working on those specific skills of building those reading skills if they're multiple grade levels below. Student Services is historically used to be our ISS center. It was still called Student Services. This year we're using it as a location for kind of a catch-all for you need these things individually. You're going to go here and somebody's going to be working with you one-on-one to get those things done. We have a couple other outside agencies, Howard Health Services and Centerstone. And then sometimes we need these conversations, wait until 8th. I came back from an AP conference, and this principal was talking about this book, The Anxious Generation. When I came back, noticed it was on Mrs. Chestnut's desk, and then we started talking about it. And this whole book stemmed a conversation around the idea of what cell phones and smart phones have kind of done to this generation, because we've been having conversations where students are really struggling with having that freedom of a smartphone, because again, when we were younger, we would go home and we could detach and no one would talk to us except for our family or the people we want to talk to. Now, unfortunately, the stresses of social media, because you are able to be accessed 24/7, there is almost like no time to get away. And so there are certain individuals and families that we talk about, like, hey, maybe we should pull back on the smartphone if this is causing a lot of stress and anxiety for them. And it's one of those things that we've have used sparingly, but we believe that like it could make a difference. And again, it's, you know, the book is really good if you want to read Anxious Generation. If you haven't, some of our teachers, I know Mrs. Barktool started reading it. And again, it's kind of also shaping and forming some conversations that we're having as far as helping students. But this whole graph, this isn't everything, but this is a large percentage of the a la carte, if you will, of what we have at the middle school. So again, a lot of great things, a lot of different ways that we're serving the whole kids and trying to meet their individual needs while trying to do it systematically. So since these changes, and that's the part to celebrate, since we've made some of these changes, and again, what we're going to show you is just the hard data. Like when we go through that first checkpoint that happened in October, when we're looking at 7th grade math, again, we're above the state average by 15%. So some of that intentionality in our PLCs, taking away some of those distractions, making sure that we're doing the work. State average is 34%. We're at 49%, hitting that proficiency level. 8th grade, 31% for the state. We're at 48%. So again, those are good things to celebrate. Those are tough tests. When we look at ELA, state average was the 33%. Our 7th graders were at the 44% for that first checkpoint. And then 8th grade, state average was 33 again, but we were at the 46%. So these are the academic sides of it, but as you know, we have to be able to meet the needs of the kids as far as like their emotional side before we can really get into those academic sides as far as like supporting their needs. And so that's why we feel really good about the things that we've been doing this year.
Yep, I agree. So I will say this, the checkpoints have become very competitive in our building. We have teachers that can't wait for the next one to come, their neighbor, you know, so it's become very competitive, which is a good thing, I think, in a positive way, that they are really excited about the information that they're getting. It's not as much as they want, but we're learning. We're in a pilot, so it's not hard. There's nothing to base it beyond this year so far, but they are getting some pretty reliable information, and the kids are getting practice at the actual format that they will be taking iLearn in, coming up. So that we like that part of it too. So there's some real positives going on there. Again, can't plug enough for anybody who wants to hang out at the middle school, especially on May 9th. We'd love to see you. You can contact any of us around here, and we can get you plugged in if you're interested in that. That's a really good learning process that the kids go through and experience. So we're also, I don't think we said this, but that's 7th grade, but for 8th grade during that time, that's when our 8th graders go out into the community to do community service. And we're always looking for places for them to go. They're everywhere that day. So if you haven't been contacted and you've got something you'd love for a small group of middle schoolers to 8th graders to come and help you with, we're all about it. We'll get you signed up. So thanks for being here tonight. Thank you, students and families, for being here. And that's the end.
Yeah, great, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming tonight, sharing with us, and telling us all the great things that are going on at PHMS. Thank you for all your hard work. Please tell your staff also thank you on behalf of the board and all of us here. Parents, thank you for being here, and please, we appreciate your support so much. We will, if you would like to go out in the lobby, I know Mrs. Reed would love to have some pictures out in the lobby. So thank you so much. You're more than welcome to come back for the rest of our meeting, but if you need to leave, we understand. All right, thank you so much.
Just found a group that's going to help me with my yard work.
Was it hand sanitizer?
You bet.
Okay, Connie?
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay, 4.2, approval of accounts payable vouchers. Are there any questions about those? Okay, if not, we'll go ahead and entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, first, Mike was. That's all right.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, 5.1 to 5.9, if there are no objections, we will take those together. Okay, so items 5.1 to 5.9, you've seen those. Any questions about those, Dr. Hall?
I would move we approve as listed.
Second.
Okay.
I'd like to make a comment.
Oh,
Well, I was interested to see that Janae Ledbetter got the art position out of Maple Ridge. You know, she's quite an artist, and I'm sure she'll have a lot to offer for them. I hope we'll find an adequate replacement for her, too. Nice lady.
okay, Connie, we'll go ahead and call the roll.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Mr. Lord, if I would, if somebody didn't read all of that, there's a pretty sizable financial donation from AMVets for $6,000.
That is true. Very
They
good.
do
Yeah,
that
invest
every
that
year.
money's going to our nutrition services to pay for funds that were not able to be acquired to support kids and their lunch balances. So that is true. Thank you.
I think there are some other organizations that are going to step up to that also.
Yeah, there are.
Good. That's great. Okay, 6.1, permission to advertise for bids. Mr. McCarty?
Thank you, President Lord. The administration tonight is requesting permission to advertise for 2 projects. The first project is cabling and security camera upgrades at Pendleton Heights High School. We are also requesting permission to look into financing from the Indiana Bond Bank, which is basically, it's a state-approved rate. It's a competitive rate amongst banks. So obviously, when we, assuming that we do get bids back on these, we would be coming back to the board for final approval on these as well. So the Pendleton Heights High School safety upgrades, that will be funded through the bond proceeds that we had late in 2023. The first part of the bond was used on the roof upgrades at East Elementary and Pendleton Heights High School, which they're still working on the high school, but obviously the weather has set them back a little bit on their original schedule. But that upgrade, both of those upgrades, we hope to have done over the summer, so they're ready to go for the fall.
Great, okay.
And you'll notice in board docs that I put a floor plan for the redesigned office.
That never
So
came
that,
up.
just so if you're to
Yeah,
remind you,
Did yours come
plan
out? Mine,
involves
mine did it.
reworking the entrance to the high school, redesigning the high school office,
Kind of locked up.
and also replacing all exterior doors at the high school main entrances.
Is this the front
Is
door?
this where visitors will
Where's the
come
front
in?
door?
Right here.
I think it's right here.
They would come in there,
Or they would come
and
in
then, but
here.
they would not be able to get past into the building. The next set of doors would stop them, so they would have to go into the office
Right there.
So you
Right
go
there by
back,
the conference
and then
room.
so you couldn't go, you can't, so that would prohibit people from just coming into the main entrance and having
Yes.
access
Good.
straight to the cafeteria. One other thing I wanna point out, this drawing may change slightly. There's option 1 and option 2, and so we've got some structural things we're working through. So the change could be where the office, where we're moving the SRO office, it might move slightly closer to the reception area because we've got some structural issues. So I just want, this drawing may change a little bit, but this gives you a general idea of what we're doing. The other thing I wanted to point out with this drawing is that we're adding in an additional family unisex bathroom
Dr. Hall, do you want us to consider these separately or together?
That would be up to Mr.
If we could, unless anyone has any objections, consider them together.
Yeah, consider them together. Okay. All right. Any further questions we have? Mr. McCarty? Okay. We'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second that.
Connie?
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay, new business, 7.1, approval of transfer tuition plan for 2025-26. Mr. Crewer?
Thank you, Mr. Lord. Each year, we are required to develop a tuition plan that establishes the number of transfer students our school corporation has the capacity to accept in each building and grade level. In addition, the plan must establish a date by which transfer requests must be received and provide that, with certain exceptions, a request to transfer from another school corporation to a school within South Madison or between schools within the corporation not be denied for any reason other than capacity. The application and the process documents that you have in board docs are similar to what they have been in the past. One change to the application I'll point out is the removal of the application fee. So pending approval, we would accept applications from March 3rd through April 18th, and then we would take those to the board for approval on May 1st. After that, we would accept applications only as space permits and acceptance criteria is met. Additionally, I would like to point out on the document that has the number of student openings that we'd be advertising, and just point out some of the numbers that are on there, particularly kindergarten, because those spots are significantly lower than they have been in years past, especially at East. One reason for this is the anticipated number of new students we are expecting to enroll that are siblings of current transfer students. And in the past, those have not typically counted towards the number of new non-resident students we would accept. We did survey our current non-resident families to ask if they had any incoming students. That was something new that we did this year. And while not all have responded, those that have indicate that we will have quite a few siblings enrolling with us, especially at East and at Pendleton in kindergarten next year. So that's one reason that we reduced those numbers of kindergarten students that we were advertising. And with those lower numbers, again, especially in kindergarten, and given the amount of applications that we typically receive for kindergarten, it is possible that we may need to hold a lottery in May to determine who would get those spots. So just making sure the board is aware of that. Also, in terms of those numbers, you will notice that this plan shows openings at East in all grades except third grade. And the opposite of that is true at Pendleton and Maple. We know that new resident enrollments are more likely to be at Pendleton and Maple. So the goal is to allow for some growth there. And additionally, East currently has the lowest enrollment and capacity percentage of all of the elementary schools, meaning that they have more room to accommodate new students. So I believe this plan allows for spots in every grade level across the district, while also attempting to take into consideration areas of growth and building capacity. So that is the transfer tuition plan that we would recommend approval of this afternoon, or I'm sorry, this evening. There are two other documents that are in board docs there that have to do not necessarily with our transfer tuition plan, but they do have to do with transfer students across the state and our district as a whole that I wanted to make sure that the board was aware of. So the DOE they release what they call a public transfer report that tracks a number of K through 12 students who have transferred between public corporations and charter schools and also how many students are utilizing the choice scholarships or vouchers to attend non-public schools. This came out recently for the fall semester of 2024. So again, we wanted to make sure that the board was aware of that. So again, you have two documents in there. The first, I believe it's titled NR Comparison. It shows a report for South Madison over the past 3 years, 22, 23, and 24. And I did include results for other county schools just as a comparison just for 2024. So I'm going to explain the table a little bit just to make sure that everyone is aware of kind of what we're looking at there. So the third column that says state-funded students with legal settlement, that's a number of students that live in our district that receive some sort of state funds. That means they go to a public school, a charter school, or they receive funds through a voucher to attend a non-public school. The resident enrollee are the number of students that live in our district and go to South Madison. The incoming public transfers are the number of non-resident students that enroll with us. And then the outgoing public transfers, those are the number of students that live in South Madison and attend another public school. The net public is pretty self-explanatory. I think that's simply outgoing subtracted from incoming. The non-public transfers outgoing are students that live in the district but receive state funds through a voucher to attend a non-public school. And then the net public and choice is a calculation of all incoming and outgoing students. So a couple of highlights there that probably stand out to you as you see them. The net transfers, so the final column for South Madison has declined by 200 students since 2022. And the number of students attending non-public schools and receiving state funds that live in South Madison's district through a voucher has increased 300% since 2022. The number of students that live in our district that receive state funds has increased 279 students since 2022. So a couple points maybe to analyze some of those numbers. That doesn't mean that we have lost 200 students over those 2 years. In fact, our ADM has actually increased from 2022 to 2024. So we have not lost 200 students. This certainly isn't the purpose of showing you all that. And if we had lost 200 students in those 2 years, we'd probably have other conversations beyond just this one. And it also doesn't mean that we've had 270 new students move in to our district and our school since 2022. So when we've looked at that, some possible explanations for that is many of these students may have been living in South Madison's district for years and have been attending a non-public school, but with the expansion of the voucher program, they're receiving state funds, so now they're calculated into that first column, if that makes sense. Additionally, we know that we have housing and subdivisions available in our district. Many surrounding districts do not have that new building growth. So we may have students and families that are moving into our district from surrounding districts that are choosing to then transport their own kid to Mount Vernon or Frankton, LaPel, just as we often have students who are with us in South Madison. They move for whatever reason, but they want to remain in South Madison. So it's possible that because we have building growth here, that those students are living here but attending school somewhere else. And again, those are going to be counted in that first column. So I may not explain for everything, but it I think may explain for some of those increases. So I know, and additionally, the last document that included just lists the corporations, charter schools, and non-public schools that students from the South Madison district are transferring to, and that's just for your information where our students go. It's pretty interesting, and again, that's just information. It's just information for you that the DOE puts out. It's public information. It's on their website. They put out another one in the spring, as well. They do it twice a year, based off the ADM counts that they have in October and then February. Yeah, on it.
Do we do, like exit interviews with families when they transfer out?
Nothing formal. I know typically, most of them will talk with, you know, a school personnel, whether that's the secretary, and there's some conversation there. It's something that we have discussed.
I didn't know if we
With it.
like did that and then tried to see like a trend or
Sure.
patterns or, anything like that.
Yep.
Sure.
So I'm happy to answer any questions about either of those that I can. Our transfer plan does need a, action tonight, but again, I know I've talked a lot. so.
You're fine.
Mr. Kruger?
Yes.
The 152 that you're saying for next year, does that change the around 600 that we had for this year? Does it go up or down by very much?
Well, the 100, you're referring to the 150, that is what we are advertising as space that we have available in those grades, aggregating all of that.
If they were all full, I guess would be my question.
Right, if we got 152, which we've never had 152, it would increase the 600-ish that we have currently in our building now.
To another 150?
No, because we're gonna lose probably 40 current
Graduation.
seniors. But it would increase it. I don't have it in front of me. I think last year, we only approved a total of 93 non-residents. I mean, if you look at the high school, we have advertising that we have room for 20 spots in every grade. We've never accepted maybe 20 total in the high school in any year. We usually average anywhere from 1 to 3 a grade level a year. So we're advertising we have room for it, but we never get that, yeah.
Okay, any other questions for Mr. Kerr?
Yeah, I had a question. On the application, the final deadline,
Yep.
about the bottom third of the page, numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 can be denied for their incidences, their behavior. Could they come back in a year and say, I want to come back, or are they denied forever?
It depends on the incident. Some have a certain number of days that they're suspended in a 12-month look back. But some, depending on drugs, weapons, alcohol, I believe those are more lifetime.
Right.
Incidents.
And I hope they would be lifetime.
Meaning for the severe ones?
Yes, the severe. And maybe the not so severe, they come back under pretty strict probation that's really monitored. But I'm sure they would do that. Just my question. Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Kerr? Okay, we'll entertain a motion then.
I move that we accept the plan as presented.
I'll second that.
Second. Connie, we'll go ahead and call roll, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Thank you. Okay, 7.1, water territory. Dr. Hall?
Thank you, President Ward. As you know, the board has been considering becoming an intervener in clause 46.147 with the Indiana Regulatory Commission, which involves the water territory boundaries in our school district. And so what you have in your, if the board would choose to become an intervener in that process, what the board has to do is they have to approve the resolution that's in board docs. That resolution is basically approval of common interest, and it also describes the joint defense agreement, which I've also put in board docs. The one thing I want to make sure you understand about the joint defense agreement is there's no financial obligation in that. It's just that we're joining with the other taxing entities. If the board would approve this, you're joining with the other taxing entities. If you approve the resolution, the last item on that. Item 3 basically names me to be the person to sign the documents as the other groups, giving me the authority to do that, because you're not gonna probably have another meeting by the time the joint resolution gets done. So I would sign that joint defense agreement, and then our attorneys would then file a motion to intervene with the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission, and then in the event someone would have to testify at that hearing, I would certainly probably meet. So if you approve that resolution. So the I can answer questions you might have about the resolution if you have those. But if you want, the pleasure of the board is to be an intervener in this cause, and that's what we need to do tonight.
Are we showing just kind of support for others,
Yes.
like the town?
It is. Yeah, it is.
We're in support of,
If you approve the resolution, you are joining in with the other taxing units to contest the proposed water territory that Anderson has proposed. Essentially, that's what you're doing. So you would be joining in with all the other taxing units in southern Madison County. It looks like Franklin Lapel schools are considering it as well. So there are several different groups, because the Anderson's proposed water territory also goes to the north and goes into the Franklin Lapel School District as well. And so that's why they're joining as well. So yes, the resolution would be to join with all the other taxing units.
it'd be a positive thing for us to do. It'd be a positive thing for us to do.
It's a positive thing, it's showing the community that we're supporting the community, is how I look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I think it's gonna affect our school district?
No.
Probably not, but I do think it's showing support.
Support, yeah.
Dr. Hall, do we need to take 3 different votes, or we just all
You
3
just have
in
to
one?
approve the resolution.
The
The other two
resolution.
documents are just for information.
Okay, all right. Are we ready for a motion then on this?
I
Okay.
would move that we support the resolution as listed.
Okay,
I second that.
okay. Connie?
Yes.
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 Yes. Board policy updates. Dr. Hall?
All right, thank you, President Lord. In your board docs, you will find 30 proposed updates to board policy. The one thing to remember with those updates is there are several that are somewhat redundant, because we have, because the way our board manual is organized, you have administrative rules, then you have professional staff rules, then you have support staff policies. So that's why you may see the same one labeled the same way, but
Yeah.
it may have a different number because it falls under that different. So these policies are the first reading of these for you to consider. I'll answer any questions you might have. If I don't have the answer tonight, I'll be glad to get it back to you. But we'll bring these up at our next meeting, if that is okay with the board
Yes.
to approve, and we can work through those. But I just wanted to give you a chance to look through those. And then we will, as we have done in the past, I'll bring these updates, and I'll probably bring another batch in the summer. That's typically what we do before we start doing student handbooks.
Any other questions for Dr. Hall?
Read them all.
I know we're in quite a time period here where we're not sure what's going on some things. My question would be, are any of these something that might change with some of the changes that are coming with Title IX?
I didn't think any of them.
None of these are related to Title IX.
When I read through all of them, I didn't see anything, but I wanted to make sure, because that's changing.
Well, I wanted to make sure that wasn't a trick question.
No, it is not a trick question. Yeah, yeah,
I know how Mark
No,
is.
I don't believe so.
okay.
The one things I would say have in this group that could have a possibility to change are the ones that are related to federal funds.
Oh, yeah.
So anything that's related to Edgar could change, because, let's say the U.S. Department of Education doesn't exist in the future, then those would all have to be written, because Edgar is how we manage our federal funding, and that goes through the U.S. Department of Education. So that could be one of the changes, but there's nothing in here related to that.
All right, we'll move on to 8.1, comments from patrons. We did not have anybody sign up this evening to speak. 8.2, communications from the superintendent.
Just have one. I just wanted to thank Juan, our head mechanic, and Katie Stewart, our bus drivers. So we had our semi-annual state police bus inspection this week, and all 46 of our buses made it through, which is, they usually always find something, and so that's a great accomplishment that all 46 made it through. We have to wreck 2 of them immediately after getting through. They did get through the original.
Do what you gotta do.
Yeah, they got through the original inspection and then not so much now. So, but anyways, I just want to thank them. That's a lot of work, and that is an incredibly tedious inspection process. I mean, because like they go through, and if there's like a sticker missing off a window, that can get you disqualified. So our buses, they do a fantastic job.
All right. Let's go to 8.3, communication from the Board of School Trustees. Kevin, we'll start down with you.
Anything this evening?
Okay. Mike, do you have anything?
Well, I've been kind of busy. There was a local church anonymously donated a gift card from Perks Coffee to all the teachers. That was anonymous. I was asked to represent this corporation from the town of Pendleton regarding their comprehensive plan. They update this every few years, and it's about a 12-month ordeal. The last one they had was in 2018, and this one is to be completed by December the 25th. So we started that in January of '24. We had the first meeting, and the woman who was running the meeting got COVID and had to back out. So Rachel Christensen is running this, so we know she'll do a great job.
She's good.
So it's just planning about the town of Pendleton and where they want to go, what they want to do, and how they want to do it. There are various sessions where they'll receive input from the community and patrons. So if she's involved, it'll be good. Last Sunday, some of us went to the girls' pre-sectional dinner, which was really very nice, really, really well attended by obviously the kids, but parents. There were grandparents there, and brothers and sisters, and that was very, very good. And also attended the game at Noblesville this past week where we beat Noblesville in the last 6 seconds of the game. Olivia Jones hit a free throw with 6 seconds to go, and we got the ball out of bounds and threw it away. And they just couldn't get a shot off, but they have an outstanding player. She scored 35 points, but it was really good. I think that's it.
Okay, thank you. Bill? I'm sorry, Anna,
yes.
my fault. Okay, Anna?
Oh, no, I just think, good luck to the cheerleaders. They've got nationals this week and sectionals Friday night for the girls' basketball team, and just seems like there's a lot of good happenings happening right now.
I was with my reading buddy at Pendleton Elementary School Monday morning, and he's a first grader. And so we were off in a little side room and everything else, and they had an emergency drill.
Oh,
So we closed the door, turned out the lights and everything else, and I kept asking him. He knew what to do. And I'd ask him, well, what about this? This is what you do. And what about, where should I go? You should go over here. And everything else, and I thought, wow, if a first grader can put all that together and tell me about it or whatever, it went so smoothly, I was just amazed. So kudos to everything that's going on with our drills and all, and at least we've got one first grader that knows what to do when there's a lockdown. There you go. Good. All right, thank you. Buck?
No, all quiet on the east side.
Okay. Mark?
Hope to see as many people as we can tomorrow night down at Mount Vernon. Our girls play the second game. The first game would be Richmond against Mount Vernon.
So Mount Vernon beat Greenfield?
No, Richmond beat
Richmond
Greenfield.
beat Greenfield.
And then Anderson beat Muncie Central, and that game was
Oh, it was
horrible.
awful.
But anyway, we will play Muncie Central, or we will play Anderson at the 7:30 game. The 6 o'clock game will be Richmond versus Mount Vernon.
Great, okay. We have a state champion wrestler, and that is really cool. Maddie Marsh, I don't know the young lady, but I've read about her, and I hope someday I can meet her. And so congratulations to her, very cool. Our show choirs had a great competition last weekend and did very, very well. And also, want to say thank you to the teachers. I know it's been a stressful time with all this coming down. So thanks for Dr. Hall and your leadership and making sure we all keep, our eye on the ball, that it's education that we're here for, and let's all do what we need to do. So thank you for that. And thank you to our teachers for all they do every single day. It's tough. All right.
I've got one more thing. I just
yes.
got an email from Dan Joyce, who's keeping the stats for the boys' basketball team tonight. And at halftime, the score is 46-10. We're ahead.
Oh, good.
So the game will be over quickly because it'll be a running clock whole second half.
Oh, yeah, guaranteed.
Who are they playing?
Yorktown.
Really? Yeah. That's great, good. All right, 9.3 is the adjournment of the regular meeting.
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
second. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here, yes.
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 Come back sometime.
That's right. Thank you.